like that, entry-level white-collar work, I worry that those things are going to be first augmented, but before long replaced by AI systems, and that we may indeed. It's hard to predict the future, but we may indeed have a serious employment crisis on our hands as the pipeline for these early stage white collar work starts to contract and dry up.
The CEO of one of the most powerful AI companies on earth sat down in his San Francisco office and said something that should have made front page news everywhere, and it's going viral again. He said that AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike unemployment to 10 to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years. And that is, of course, coming from Dario Amodei, the CEO of one of the, or if not the fastest growing AI company in the world, that arguably have the most powerful models. Now, when you think about statements like that, you'd kind of expect that warning from a doomsday blogger or an economist trying to sell a book. But this is coming from the guy who's actually building the technology, the person who sees every single day what AI can do and how fast that technology is improving. And the crazy thing about this is that he didn't say this just once. He actually said this on Axios, then again at the Axios AI Plus Summit in September 2025. Then again on 60 Minutes in November. Then in January, he published a 20,000 word essay titled The Adolescence of Technology, basically saying it again, but even louder. And we're going to touch upon all of these things later on in the video, but the main question we have to ask ourselves is the man building the most advanced AI on the planet right? Are we genuinely about to watch half of all entry-level white-collar jobs disappear? And what will that even mean for the economy? The short answer is that it hasn't exactly happened yet, but the data is starting to look exactly like what he predicted. Not a sudden collapse, but a slow, quiet vanishing act where companies stop hiring for roles that used to be the first rung on the career ladder and nobody notices until an entire generation can't find work. So what he actually said and why it's actually different this time. So he said, okay, and we need to be blunt, and pretty much what he said was pretty blunt. He said that AI developers and officials need to stop sugarcoating what's coming. He named the sectors technology, finance, law, consulting, and specifically entry-level roles. And he described a scenario that sounds almost paradoxical. He said, what if cancer is cured, the economy grows at 10% annually, the budget is balanced, and yet 20% of the people are unemployed? He said that possibility weighs heavily on it. Then came the essay. In January 2026, Amodei published The Adolescence of Technology, all 20,000 words of it. He called this period humanity's rite of passage, and he warned that AI systems could surpass the intelligence of Nobel Prize winners by 2027. He said autonomous AI has already shown deceptive behavior during testing, and he doubled down on jobs. His core argument was this: previous technological revolutions, the printing press, the steam engine, the internet, they disrupted narrow slices of the economy. Workers could switch lanes, a factory worker could retrain as a truck driver. But AI, as Amodei argued, is different because of what he called its cognitive breadth. It doesn't just replace one type of task, it replaces itself, thinking across every field simultaneously. And he wrote that the pace of progress is much faster than previous technological revolutions. People find it challenging to adjust to this speed of change, both in terms of job functions and the necessity to transition to new roles. And he's not alone. Ford CEO Jim Farley predicted that AI would eradicate literally half of all white-collar jobs within a decade. Sam Altman actually revealed that his group chat with other tech CEOs has a running bet on the date when $1 billion company will have just one employee. Now, by the way, if you're watching this video and you're thinking you need to sit down and figure out where you stand with all of this, I actually made a free guide where you can actually use it. It's the Navigate framework. It's a free, full personal audit, your career, your income, your finances, your investments, specifically built for what's coming with AI. Link is going to be in the description, completely free. And pro tip, if you drop this into Claude or ChatGPT, you can actually ask it based on what it knows about you to actually develop a plan that you can use. I think it's super useful. It's based on a ton of different research papers I've read, not just some standard ChatGPT nonsense. So I'd give this a download because it's completely free. Now, when we look at the data, the numbers are unfortunately starting to stack. So researchers at Stanford actually published what they call the Canaries paper. They analyzed millions of monthly payroll records and found that workers aged 22 to 25 in jobs exposed to generative AI experienced a roughly 13% decline in employment since late 2022. Not a recession, not a downturn, just fewer younger people getting hired into the roles that used to be their way in. Now, by Anthropic's own research published in March of 2026, this actually confirmed the pattern. Their labor market paper found that no systematic increase in unemployment for highly exposed workers happened since late 2022. Now, whilst that first sentence does sound reassuring, it's until you read the next sentence. And they found suggestive evidence that hiring of younger workers has slowed in exposed occupations, and the job finding rate for 22 to 25-year-olds in AI exposed roles dropped 14% compared to 2022. And for workers over 25, there was no change at all. Now, the unemployment rate among recent college graduates from ages 22 to 27 now sits at 5.6%, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. This is the highest since 2013, pandemic excluded. Job postings on Handshake, the major platform for college students, fell more than 16% between August 2024 and August 2025, and applications per role jumped 26%, meaning more people fighting over fewer opportunities. When we think about it, the layoffs are real. I was actually scrolling through this website, and there's over 100,000 workers being hit by AI layoffs in 2025, another 30,000 so far in 2026. Accenture cut 11,000 roles, Amazon eliminated around 30,000 corporate positions in late 2025 and early 2026. McKinsey laid off 200 employees. I mean, if you read this article like I have, it just goes on and on and on about all of these companies, and most of these cuts were directly linked to AI-driven efficiency. Now, here's what's interesting. MIT released a tool called the Iceberg Index in November 2025, and it found that AI could already theoretically automate work equivalent to $1.2 trillion in wages across the US workforce, in finance, healthcare, and professional services. But here's the kicker. The visible tech layoffs everyone talks about represent just 2.2% of that potential impact. The rest is happening quietly, in human resources, logistics, and office management, below the surface, like an iceberg. Now, not everyone agrees, and those disagreements matter. Scott Galloway, the NYU marketing professor, argued at Davos that every prior technological revolution has created more jobs than it destroyed. The cotton gin, the assembly line, the internet, each one has triggered panic, and each time new industries emerge that nobody has predicted. And he does think that AI will be the same. But Demis Hassabis, the CEO of Google DeepMind, put the odds of achieving human-level AI within a decade at just 50%. That's a bit far more cautious than Dario Amodei's timeline. And if Hassabis is actually right, maybe we might have more time to adapt. And then, of course, we actually have to think about the credibility question. Deutsche Bank analysts warned that AI redundancy washing is going to be a prominent trend in 2026. And this is interesting because this means that there are going to be some companies blaming layoffs on AI when the real reasons are cost-cutting, poor management, or slowing growth. And one Reddit analysis found that 59% of businesses labeling their layoffs as AI-driven were primarily just cutting costs under a more favorable narrative. So you do have to bear that in mind. And there's also the question of Amodei's motives. Fortune's AI editor, Jeremy Kahn, pointed out that Amodei's 20,000-word essay reads as much a lengthy marketing piece as it does a passionate prophecy. The solutions Amodei proposes, constitutional AI, interpretability research, safety frameworks, happen to be exactly what Anthropic sells. And if the world believes AI is terrifyingly powerful, Anthropic's safety first pitch becomes more valuable. And his own company's research tells a more nuanced story. Anthropic's economic index analyzed 2 million Claude interactions and found that AI actually augments jobs by handling routine tasks, allowing humans to tackle the complex ones. That seems like augmentation, not replacement. Now, the thing that makes all of this hard to dismiss is the counter-argument, that technology always creates more jobs. It relies on a historical pattern where disruption was slow enough for people to adapt. The printing press took decades to reshape labor markets, the internet took years. AI is moving month over month, and even I can't keep up. So if new jobs do emerge, they may emerge too late for people who are losing theirs right now. And this isn't actually an abstract thought anymore. The BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, the man who manages $11.5 trillion in assets, said just last week that he's worried that when this year's college graduates enter the workforce, we could see the highest unemployment rate among them in years, even without a recession, and he called it a crisis. Not a challenge, not a transition, a crisis. He said, really, post-World War II, the pathway to a white-collar job was a college education. and AI is going to disrupt many of those jobs. A survey of 183 employers by the National Association of Colleges and Employers found that more than half rated the job market for the class of 2026 as poor or fair, the most pessimistic reading since the pandemic. At a Yale School of Management gathering, 66% of executives said that they plan to reduce their workforce or freeze hiring this year. And the IMF projects that AI will roughly affect 40% of jobs globally. A professor at the University of Virginia believes America will experience a very noticeable labor market effect beginning this year. And this is the generation that did everything right. They got the degree, they learned the skills, and the ladder they were climbing toward had just had its bottom rungs removed. Now, interesting thing about this is that back in May 2025, when Amodei first made this prediction, he said something that continues to echo today. Most people are unaware that this is going to happen. I mean, when you think about it, it does kind of sound absurd that most people simply don't believe it, but only 10 months later, the early data looks exactly like what he described. Not a loud collapse, a quiet disappearing act. Fewer jobs posting, fewer hires, fewer first chances. Now, is it 50%? Maybe not yet, and maybe not that clean, but the direction is pretty unmistakable. And the question is no longer whether AI will reshape the entry-level job market, it's whether anyone in a position of power is going to do something about it before an entire generation gets left behind. Amodei himself said it best. You simply can't stand in front of the train and halt it. The only effective strategy is to steer the train and adjust it by 10 degrees in a different direction. And that is achievable, but we must act now. The train is already moving, and right now, nobody's at the controls. Let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.